Welcome to the Success with Jewelry podcast, where we invite you inside our conversations about business success and marketing for jewelry designers and entrepreneurs.
We're Liz and Laryssa, jewelry marketing experts with a combined 16 years of experience in jewelry marketing and proven track records in helping jewelry brands meet their goals. When you listen to or watch this podcast, you get an intimate and exclusive peek behind the curtain of all the things you wish you could know about earning success in this industry.
Welcome to episode 86. In this episode, Liz and I are going to be talking about how you can utilize collaborations for your business. So, why can they be an effective form of audience building, some general guidelines for collaborations, and what to look for when seeking out collaborations. In the bonus content, we share examples of jewelry brand collabs and also talk about how to look for potential collaborators. Where are they? To get access to exclusive content as well as direct access to me and Liz, sign up by visiting successwithjewelry.com. Hey, collaborator. Let's get into it.
Yeah, this whole thing is a collaboration, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we're the true experts of collabs, right?
Totally. Collaboration is one of the most important things to be considering for your business right now.
I think it's the biggest opportunity and one of the most underutilized.
I agree. And there have been some really creative collaborations out there recently. But we'll talk about that more in the bonus episode.
That's for the bonus content.
That's for the bonus content. But I love the idea of it. I think so many good things can come from collaborations. And it's more exciting for me, like when I see brands that are collaborating. I think it's more exciting that both of us are doing a podcast, although your solo podcast is great too. But it is very exciting to be doing it together versus me just having my own, because, it's just more exciting.
Yeah. And what I do over there is different. This is more fun. We bounce stuff off each other. It's a totally different vibe.
It's a totally different vibe. But it's also a really important way to build an audience. And I think that that's something kind of a big question in all of the conversations I've had ever, but especially this year. It's like, how do I expand my reach? How do I build my audience? And collaborating, especially when it's an aligned collaboration, is just an amazing way to do that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some pros, like what makes it such a good form of audience building. I think one, if you're collaborating, this could be reaching an audience that maybe before had been inaccessible to you. It's like, you're not going to get those people just from posting on Instagram. You can't send email marketing to them because they're not on your list. And so it opens up a whole new door.
Definitely. And you get in front of a potential customer base and also with the partner, whoever you're partnering with, advocating for you because their customers already trust them. So them saying, oh, check this thing out or this person out or this brand out, then it builds that trust there too.
Absolutely. Also, just general brand awareness. I mean, even if those people don't end up following you or buying from you right away, your name is just like out there. People are hearing it. If they see it again, they'll be like, oh, I heard of that before.
Definitely.
When you're doing this, I mentioned collaborations a lot to clients, and it's like, where do you even start with that? That sounds like a whole box that we're opening. Like, how do we begin? So, some general guidelines. If you're beginning to think about the process of exploring collaborations, like, what are some things you should be looking out for, paying attention to out there in the world of brands?
I think the best place to start is shared values, like the core of what you're doing. If you find somebody else who's like very passionate about that same thing, I think that's a great place to start. So, for example, like having 1,000 facets on this podcast, it's like I know that she has a really strong passion for supporting independent jewelry designers, as do Laryssa and I. So it felt like a natural fit in terms of a guest to bring on.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you'll see that out in the world. If you kind of open your brain up to collaborations, even outside of the jewelry industry, you'll see like your favorite chocolate brand has a collab with like, I don't know, a coffee business that has shared values about sourcing their ingredients or something like that. You'll start to notice it a lot.
Definitely. I love when sustainable brands partner together. That's like a strong value that ties people together. I love when local brands collaborate and work together. I mean, we talked about this before, but the dream day that Laura Woods and Garden Party and a clothing brand did together, all local, all supporting like handcrafted small makers. It felt like a really natural collaboration.
Totally. Obviously, you'll want to have like complementary products or services too, kind of like Liz just said. Like these things should somehow make sense together. Although I have seen some collabs that are just bananas and I don't understand like how the two things go together. I wish I could think of one example off the top of my
Oh my
head.
gosh, I have one. Tiffany
Okay.
and Co. and Pokemon.
Oh yeah. We talked about this before. That's so true. I
It's
think either Stephanie Gottlieb or Allison Liu, or maybe both of them, collaborated with like an ice cream brand, Magnum or something, like those bars, and I was like, I don't really get it.
I don't get it. I don't get the Tiffany and Co. and Pokemon either. Like they know more than us, obviously. Like, but
Do they?
I would guess. I would guess they have more like statistics or understand their customer better, but I can't see the Pokemon collector and the Tiffany and Co. collector being the same.
That's like super niche. Maybe there's like a few hundred people that would be into that. I don't know, but maybe we're wrong and we have no idea.
Yeah, definitely. But the ice cream one too, to your point, I don't quite get that either, except for like the cute little food charms are in or
Yeah.
were in.
hmm So to that point, there needs to be like target audience overlap, which I think is the thing that puzzles us a little bit about the Tiffany collab. It's like the target audience for Pokemon. Is that the same person that's buying high-end jewelry from Tiffany, And so you have to imagine like how are these two products going to fit into like one person's life?
Right. And also something to look for is like established and or like a professional brand reputation, which is
Yeah.
what really I think drew Laryssa and I together. Is that like I know she has a great reputation. I know I have a great reputation. So us coming together really made sense from that perspective because we have our kind of old or our own and overlapping audiences, but we both have strong reputations in the industry.
Yeah, look out for those like opportunists that probably won't last after like a year or something that are just trying to like leech on to whatever reputation you've built, even if you don't have the most ginormous reach. Find people who, I don't know how else to say it, have a similar reputation.
Mhm. Definitely. They don't need to have the same size audience by any means, but like, the same reputation I think is super important or similar trust built in an industry.
hmm Also, creativity, innovation, clear communication skills. You don't want to really partner with someone that's like, I don't know, I don't have any ideas. What do you think?
Definitely. And like some sort of brand influence, the commitment to the collaboration, because sometimes, oh gosh, I have heard of brands trying to do collaborations and just not having the same commitment from whoever they're trying to partner with. And that's a really tough place to be.
So true. Yeah, you got to be on the same page with that because it is going to be work to execute it and then follow up on like the ripple effects of that. And you need to be in it together.
Definitely.
So, some other qualifications to consider or ways to kind of sniff out the qualifications, I guess, like look at their social media feeds, look at the website. Is it a mess or is it look professional? Like sign up for their emails. Are they also marketing as regularly as you are? I think that's another sign that there is like alignment there. Um, and just like if you are approaching a brand, pay attention to any kind of like gut feelings you have about the communication. Like, are they responding to you with a whole bunch of typos and like it looks like they just wrote it really fast without putting thought into it? Or do they seem excited and thoughtful about it as well? You can kind of pick up on some of these things even in an initial outreach.
Definitely. And something to consider too, especially if you're partnering with a friend or partnering with, somebody where you are both investing resources or you're going to be selling a thing, make sure that you have written down all of the, what everybody's putting in, what you're agreeing to, the split you're taking. All of that's really important. Even if it's like not a formal contract, just having it written down and agreed to by both parties is so important.
It's hard to partner with people in general. That's why they say like don't go into business with like friends or family because like there's drama there. There can be drama. Like typically these partnerships are shorter term, so thankfully like I mean maybe you'll work with them for years, who knows, but like usually it's a shorter term situation, but you still want it to be a pleasant experience.
Definitely. And if possible, I mean, choose a partner who's done collaborations before and has had success with them.
Yeah, totally. But don't write off people that haven't because maybe they're just newer to the game.
Definitely. I think that so next we're going to talk about initiating collaboration outreach. And I think that this is kind of the hard part is like maybe you have some ideas of places or people or brands you want to collaborate with, but like that initial outreach reach feels scary.
Yeah, well, at least kind of mention this. It's like have in mind what you want to get out of it. But at the same time, don't be like, these are my demands. And if I don't get all of this, then screw it because it's a collaboration. There might be some compromise and you'll want to hear the other person out. But go into it also with maybe some ideas too. You don't just want to be like, hey, I want to do a collab, but like I don't know.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know
Come
what
in
that's
with
going to look
ideas.
like.
Totally. Come in with ideas because yes, a collaboration, pitching a collaboration is fine, but you need to start it. You need to initiate it, and they might have different ideas and it might turn out looking different than you originally imagined, but you need to come in with something, some sort of direction or idea.
And have a clear why too. And that might look a little different based on who you reach out to. Like, one, why are you reaching out to that person? And what's the kind of the bigger why for this whole thing you're doing?
And think about all the like weird collaboration DMs that you get from like influencers and stuff like that that aren't actually an ask to collaborate, but an ask for free service or money or something like that. Like that's how you don't want to come across. You really want to go into it thinking about like how both parties can get something out of it.
And make it personal.
And make it personal. Don't send like a random or like a generic DM or email. Like you want to really come at it from like, I know what your brand is doing. This is why I'm excited about partnering with you. This is why I'm reaching out.
Yeah. And so, how do people even reach out? What do we suggest for that?
I think that directly via email, I'm an email gal. I think that it's nice to come at it from a formal place. Pitching it when you're in person at a, if you're trying to partner with a store or a location or a local business, I think go in and talk to them.
Mhm.
Maybe send an email first and then pop in to follow up. I think that's great. I think that also sending a DM is fine. I didn't mean to hate on that. You just want to make sure it's personal and thoughtful.
Yeah, DMs sometimes get lost a little bit and they can come across spammy. So, if you do that and no one answers, like it may not be you.
It may not be you. I also just think this is me and my age and my generation, though, but I think email's more professional.
Yes, definitely. Um, and yeah, it's kind of like Liz said, in person. I mean, this might even come up. Maybe you go to like networking events in your town or
Mhm.
something. It could even come up naturally, like in conversation.
That's my favorite. That's how we started. And I think that that's like my favorite way that it happens. It's just like meeting people and talking to people. And maybe you have an idea for collaboration, but you're not sure who to partner with, like utilizing your network for introductions and like mentioning it to somebody that you know is tied in. They might have a great idea for you.
Mhm. Absolutely. So we want to know, will you be trying collaborations? Do you have questions? Visit successofjewelry.com. Leave us a review on the podcast. Tell your friends. We'd love to know what you're thinking. We're happy to answer any questions you may have. Thanks for being a part of the community.